our attention to one of the flagship housing initiatives of the national government, which is the Expanded Pambansang Pabahay para sa Pilipino or the Expanded 4PH program. So, I think familiar, marami naman po sa atin na familiar na dito. Sino po dito nag-implement na ng Expanded 4PH? Ayun, si ma'am. Sino naman po ang parang ongoing na or nakikipag-coordinate na with the Stud 4PH? Meron na po ba? So, sige na pala po. So, dito po, we learn more about the Expanded 4PH. So, whether your LGU is already implementing or still exploring opportunities it offers, today's session will provide valuable updates on the Expanded 4PH program and the important role of LGUs in making affordable housing more accessible to Filipino families. So to discuss this topic, may we warmly welcome our resource speaker from the Expanded 4PH Project Management Office, Director Gilbert L. Sebastian. Warm welcome, ma'am.
Good morning po sa ating lahat. Alam ko, malapit na po mag-12. So, I'll try to make this as quick as possible without sacrificing information that our office needs to share. No? So, to start off, I'm Gilbert Sebastian. No? Isa po sa mga kawani ng 4PH Project Management Office. No? So, on behalf of our boss, Undersecretary Ed Robles, the head of 4PH PMO, we'd like to extend our warmest regards to our participants, our partner LGUs, other agencies, and of course our friends from the NCR Regional Office. Kami po ay nagagalak na kami ay naimbitahan dito sa seminar nito upang maibahagi naman yung mga updates or yung mga information yung mga katulong din sa ating mga LGUs, mga ating mga kababayan na kinasasakupan ninyo na pwedeng mag-avail din ng mga socialized housing units na under 4PH. Okay? Next slide po. So, the presentation is divided into 8 parts. No? As I mentioned earlier, I'll try to make this as concise as possible. So, number 1 is Executive Order 34. Ito po yung original 4PH. And then number 2 is objectives. So, ito yung bago naman, no? 2025-021. Objectives of Expanded 4PH program. And what is number 3 is ano yung bago, no? From the old into the new. And then ito yung mga bago nating mga modalities to expand yung coverage ng housing. And then number 4 po is yung status, yung current status natin, yung mga na-deliver na, ano pa yung mga objectives from 2026 up to the next 2 years. And then, yung financing framework, ito po is paano natin nagugulungan yung ating mga beneficiaries upang ma-avail, no? Ma-afford nila yung mga 4PH projects na matutulungan sila kung ano mga subsidies or mga katulong sila long-term para mapasok nila yung mga bahay na gusto nilang bibili. And then, number 6 po, ito, importante rin po ito, yung average household income and income decile. Kasi nakahati po yung mga brackets ng mga kinikita ng mga Pilipino na pwede natin ma-avail yung mga subsidies na pinoprovide ng 4PH projects. And of course, since nandito tayo sa NCR seminar, no, with our partner LGU, so ano po yung importansya at yung mga role na ginagampanan natin in order to propagate and mapalawak natin itong 4PH projects. And lastly, ano po yung mga beneficiaries, sino po yung pwede mag-avail itong mga projects na ito, and yung pwede nilang makuha na subsidies. So, let me start my presentation, no? By asking this question. Why is large-scale housing production needed? Before I came in earlier, nakita ko kasi may discuss kasi may oversupply ng condo units, especially in CR. And then, so, ang question naman, why is large-scale housing production is needed? So basically, ito nung tanong na ito kasi is sa karamihan kasi na as we all know, marami sa ating mga kababayan, especially in the lower bracket, cannot afford housing. Sa tingin ko po, yung mga oversupply sa ngayon is basically is more on the economic or upper side of open market, which costs mo millions to afford, especially sa mga regular na mga employees and also lalo na yung mga sa lower bracket of society natin mga kababayan. So let's housing need, no? So let me start with defining what is a housing need. According to PSRTI, for Philippine Statistical Research Training Institute, a housing need is defined as the total requirement for standard, decent housing accommodation based on physical and social dimensions. So basically, yung housing needs divided into two primary categories. First is yung accumulated housing need, or ito yung mga existing requirements or backlog. So, according to the recent study ng PSRTI as commissioned by the department, around 2.2 million as of 2022 housing backlogs. No? So, that's why we're also urging our private developer partners to invest in socialized housing. Ito po yung sa mga pinakamababang laylayan ng lipunan para at least provide natin sila ng pambahay. So, the second category of housing needs is yung recurrent or future housing needs. Ito po yung projections, no? So, from 2023 to 2028, roughly, on average, around 3.77 housing units, no? So more or less in the next 5 years, the housing backlog is projected to be around 6 million. That's why it's important also to provide housing production. So why is the participation of our partners and LGUs important? So nakikita ko po na ang pangangailangan ng pagbahay, kailangan magkatuwang po ang national agencies, no? For example, ng TISUL and ng LGU upang matugunan yung mga sinasabi ng housing backlog at mga, so paano tayo magkakatulungan? So first is yung facilitation and delivery. So yung collaboration natin ng department and the LGU is operationalized through the CLUP, no? So yesterday and earlier this morning, I discussed yung CLUP. So, hindi ko na po tatanungin sa inyo kung what is comprehensive land use plan. Pero basically, it's a policy document, no, formulated by the LGU to manage land allocation, development, and environmental sustainability within sa locality natin. No? So, it translates socio-economic goals into physical, spatial strategies for the city or municipality. So, so it also serves as a spatial foundation for local development. So while Vision provides the policy framework and for PH financing, the LGU utilizes its global zoning ordinances to legally designate safe strategic zones for affordable housing, and which is yung near yung available utility lines, of course, yung economic centers, which is ideal. But beyond the spatial mapping, the LGU actively drives execution by identifying specific housing sites, no, or developing projects with private developers and screening the final beneficiaries to ensure the program reaches to those. Kasi ang LGU kasi alam nila kung sino yung mga lugar or tsaka yung mga nangangailangan most within their constituencies. So what is, so what is the Executive Order number 34? So EO 34 officially declares the pambansang pabahay para sa Pilipino program is the government's flagship housing program to address the country's housing backlog. It designates the Department of Human Settlements and Urban Development as the lead implementing agency. So parte po ng mandato ng DSUD is part 11201 is to act as the primary national government entity responsible for the management of housing, human settlements, and urban development. Isa pa rin po dito sa mandato ng departamento ay develop and adopt a national strategy to immediately address the provision of adequate and syempre affordable, as much as possible, affordable housing sa lahat ng mga ating mga kababayan. Third is yung direct or national government agencies, NGAs, GOCCs, of course our LGUs to support the program in coordination with the department. And number 4, it requires yung government agencies or LGUs to submit yung mga inventory po ng ating mga kalupaan, mga suitable na that can be used for housing and human settlement. So related to number 4, the fifth natin is to authorize the SHU to identify suitable public lands and recommend the reservation for the declaration for housing purposes, subject of course to existing laws and regulations. So this was probably around July 2023. No? So, upon the assumption of Secretary Deliling last year, June 2025, no? So, na-expand yung programa. Let's face it, yung original 4-page program encountered also challenges. So, what's the objective of the expanded 4-page program? Siyempre, you want to bridge the gap in terms of production and availability to the market. No? Of course, you expand the affordability and accessibility of housing programs by empowering home buyers to achieve terms of the selection. Before kasi, usually ini-endorse ng mga partners natin or entities. Ngayon, may kailangan na rin mga bilit yung mga beneficiaries natin kung anong programa ng pabahay o saan lokasyon o yung sa tingin nila is better para sa kanilang pamilya, doon sila pwedeng pumunta. Then, facilitate the matching of home buyers' financial capacity with eligibility criteria of funding agencies. Later on, i-discuss po rin nga yung, as mentioned earlier, yung mga income decile and other benefits. Number 4 is strengthen the coordination among industry stakeholders. So, patuloy-tuloy po ito between the department, mga KSAs, NHA, NHMC, at tapos, of course, LGUs, mga private developers, national and other national government agencies and home buyers. Support the purchase and post-award services to expedite project delivery to beneficiaries. So ngayon po, may mga dinidevelop po ng mga policies, no? Hindi lang natatapos po yung pagbili ng mga housing units or pabahay ng mga ating beneficiaries, ay ini-import ng 4-page na tulungan sila, kahit nakabili na sila, yung mga maintenance ng mga pabahay nila, mga estate management, para ma-subsidize din ang mga pangangailangan ng mga beneficiary. Lastly po, promote dignified living conditions and sustainable communities for buyers and renters. So, part din po itong as na-mention po kanina, mandato rin ng ating departamento na gagawin ng mga ating mga kababayan na siyempre yung dignified. Gusto naman tayo talagang napuprovide pangangailangan nila dito sa pamamahay na kanilang tinitira. So what? So the original 4PH po, yung modality niya is vertical housing. No? So vertical housing developments consist of low, pamilya naman po tayo dito, especially in NCR, no? Kasi because as mentioned earlier, may scarcity of land. So most of the developments lately within Metro Manila are low-rise, medium-rise, mga 5-10 stories, and of course, yung mga high-rise residential buildings, especially po sa mga CBDs natin. Ati, Ortigas, Taguig, sa BC. So primarily located in urban and highly urbanized areas where land constraints po necessitate efficient, syempre yung maximize natin yung available land that is available for development. So ito po, vertical housing modality supports compact and sustainable urban development, promotes proximity. Syempre, ideal po sa atin, no? As na-mention na rin po kanina, yung mga gusto kong lumipat. Syempre, malapit sa mga offices kung saan sila yung available employment centers nila or And it also enables higher density housing solutions in strategic growth areas. So ito po yung mga ibang programa ng 4PH po, no? Pasinaya Housing Tamuyo, Lagutan. And then sa People's Bill naman po, sa Davao City. So may mga nakatira na rin po dyan na beneficiaries ng 4PH. So, balik ko lang po. So, part po ng vertical housing under the 4PH guidelines, vertical housing projects can be implemented through PPA, private public partnerships, mga joint venture agreements, and other eligible schemes subject to existing policies and guidelines of the 4PH now. So, para in order also to engage our private sector partners, no, yung participation nila, may enhancement production, expand the increasing construction in especially the NCR, should and DepDep revise the price ceiling for the socialized condo projects to the issuance of JMC 2025-001. So, na-increase na po yung socialized housing ceiling for condo. The maximum price now is 1.8 billion. Sa NCR, I think meron pa plus additional na 200,000. So, moving on, ito na po yung mga bago nating modalities, no? First is horizontal housing. So, because of the scarcity of land in the metropolis, no? So, instructions of Secretary during this assumption last year, no? So, in-expand natin yung including horizontal housing projects which involve the development of single-attached, duplex, row houses, or townhouse units in areas with sufficient land availability, including yung mga suburban and mga peri-urban areas and regional growth centers. So this modality supports plan-building development, incremental housing, improvement, and the establishment of livable cities. So itong mga pictures po below, itong mga other 4PH projects na ongoing or itong turnover na like in Morauville, in Occidental Mindoro, sa Cavite rin po, Pasinaya Homes, Mamborogin. So, itong mga horizontal projects po natin shall be consistent, of course, with the approved CLUP ng ating mga LGUs and also as well as the local shelter planning applicable planning and development standards of our partner LGUs. So, enhanced community mortgage program. So ito po ni-revive, no? Also last year. So basically, ECMP is an improved version of the original CMP, which is being implemented by our KSA, no? SHFC. So it is designed to strengthen community-driven housing finance modality by empowering organized groups of informal sectors and other eligible low-income households to collectively access affordable financing for land acquisition, site development, and housing construction. So ito po, yung iba natin mga ECMP na projects sa pagkakaisa para sa Antipolo, Phase 2, Cito Hills, Neighborhood. So ito po, yung sa enhanced ECMP po, ang ginagawa po ng SHFC, no? Tumutulong nila sila sa mga by providing mga infrastructure improvement, utilities improvement, around the community. So, presidential proclamations, no? Narinig ko po ito sa presentation kanina ni Ms. Mafe. So, ano ba yung proclamation sa housing intervention under the modality involved the identification and declaration of government-owned lands for socialized housing through the press pro. So it facilitates the implementation of presidential proclamations through land disposition, tenure regularization, and systematic planning and development of housing communities within proclaimed sites. So ang implementation nga is undertaken in coordination, of course, with other NGAs, no, and NGOs and other stakeholders subject to applicable land disposition. So ito po yung mga iyak na mentioned earlier. Uh, so, MSUs, no? So, modular shelter units. So, itong mga MSUs natin referred to as temporary housing units are adopted as rapid deployment housing solution for households displaced by disasters, infra projects, or other emergency situations. So, yun po yung importance ng pag-MSU. Pag may mga emergencies, mga nasanata ng bagyo, may earthquake, so that will require rapid deployment. So these are standardized units provide immediate, safe, and dignified shelter guide permanent housing under the expanded for age programs being developed. So on the right side po yung mga ibang projects po natin sa Mandawi, Cebu, and sa Davao Island na provide yung MSUs natin. Pero din tayo sa ibang like sa Naga. So, to this modality, the government is able to provide immediate relief, maximize the use of temporary housing infrastructure, and reach the gap to permanent, sustainable, and secure housing solutions, ensuring continuity in the welfare and resilience of community. So, eventually po, ang objective dito, yung mga na-transfer po natin sa mga MSUs is magkaroon din sila ng permanent housing. So, hindi po permanent silang lugar dyan magtitira. So, kaya tinatawag natin siyang temporary housing. So, rental housing, ito po rin yung sa mga pinakabago nating modalities. No? So, rental housing is recognized as voluntary housing modality under the expanded fourth providing affordable, secure, and regulated rental accommodations for households that are not unable or not yet ready to transition to home ownership. This modality addresses the housing needs of transient workers, disaster-affected families, and other vulnerable or mobile populations who may be implemented as either an interim or long-term solutions consistent with the housing program objectives. So, kanina po, may mga in-address kaninang question, especially for Metro Manila City because of the scarcity of land na mahirap na mag-develop, especially na horizontal housing in Metro Manila. And then may mga beneficiaries for mga kaubayan tayo na ayaw din naman magkaroon ng permanent or kasi mas mahal yung binabayaran nila monthly. Dito po, ang objective po natin sa rental housing is much yung binabayaran nila is mababa lang talaga. If I'm not mistaken, around 850 for these kinds of projects. Basically, to help yung maintenance lang din ng building. Like for this example, ito yung conceptual perspective na project natin for phase AUP sa Poc Manila. So I think these are around 7 or 8 buildings. 8 buildings. So HDH, high-density housing provides safe, affordable, and disaster-resilient permanent housing solutions for families living in water-based and other dangerous zones pursuant to the GMC number 1 series of 2013. So basically, this modality primarily addresses families covered by the need of Mandapos, the Manila Bay Rehab case issued by the Supreme Court of the Philippines. So ito po ay inaano pa natin, hopefully the next few months makapag-start na yung rehabilitation and of course in partnership with our agencies to para ma-implement na itong HCH the mga chosen locations like this. Alyansa ng mga may sumalpuman housing sa Balikatan. Sana ang-umpisahan na. So, what is the status of the expanded 4PH? So, in terms of numbers, for this administration, the target is 1.133 million for this BBM administration. Ang contributions po ng expanded 4PH program is basically 301,000. So, shortcut ko na lang kasi yung maraming numero. So, while the 1.33 million target is to reflect the administration's commitment, ongoing reforms supported by the increased private sector participation aims to establish, of course, Itong programa naman ay hindi lang para sa administrasyon. Ang target natin is magtuloy-tuloy ito kahit matapos na po yung BBM administration until ma-institutionalize natin yung programa para mas marami tayong ma-address na housing issues na tutulungan natin mga kababayan. So on the right side, ng indirect housing production, it's around 260,000 from July 2022 up to June 2026. And then yung indirect housing provisions naman natin, ang achievement natin is around 368,000. So in terms of accomplishment vis-a-vis the target, no, as of June 2026, ang na-deliver natin na provide housing, finance, and make available is around 575,693. So yung balance natin or target for the next 2 years is to accomplish yung 558,000 in terms of production, finance, and made available. So in terms of breakdown, yung original 4 page po na na-mention namin kanina, from 2022 to last year of May and June, ang na-deliver ng original modality, which is vertical, is 1,024 units. So when Secretary Alilin came in last year of June 2025, and up to last month, June 2026, due to the expanded 4PH program, yung mga na-mention ko earlier ng mga bagong modalities natin, no? Na-expand yung coverage. So in terms of yung delivery, more than 100-fold yung turnover, no? Deliver ng programa, no? In terms of housing production, finance, and made available. So as of June 2026, around 124,643 can deliver in terms of 1PH production. So yung balance po, out of the 301,000, within the next 2 years, ang target natin deliver is around 175,000. So ito naman po nasa right side natin ng table, yung mga beneficiaries natin, yung mga nakapag-take out na sa ating programa, no, is around 9,971, almost 10,000 beneficiaries. So ito po yung mga income decile. Later on, himay natin po yung mga income decile. Diba? So, distribution of housing units taken out indicates that the program is effectively reaching its intended beneficiaries. As more than 70% come from the first income decile. So, yung mga nasa nilalayan po, maliliit yung mga monthly salary nila, sila po yung mostly nakaka-avail ng 4PH housing projects. So, especially yung first to the third income decile. And then yung second bracket po na medyo malaki rin nakapag-avail is yung from the 4th up to the 7th income decile, which is around 21.75%. The balance is from 6.7, 67% is yung 8 to 10 income decile. So financing framework, no? So lahat naman tayo dito ay pag-ibig, alam mo ito siya pag-ibig members kung nag-overlook po tayo. So, Home Development Mutual Fund, ang data po niya is like a provident savings, no? Develop and promote an integrated nationwide sound and viable tax-acceptable provident savings system for employed and earning groups. So, importante rin po is yung home financing na pinag-provide ng ating pag-ibig o HDMF. So it promotes home ownership through extension of affordable housing loans and stimulate of course, the shelter industry by providing development and institutional financing. Lately po, we provide si pag-ibig ng financing, hindi lang siya sa kasama sa presentation kasi. So, may promo po ang pag-ibig yung 3% interest rate, especially sa mga pag-avail ng 4PH projects. Yung regular niya na 6.25 is pababa na 3%. And then, meron din po siyang promo rate ngayon na 4.5% promo rate up to 4.9 million. 2.5 to 4.9 million. So, parang ang magiging amortization mo lang kung dati ay 20,000 ngayon, nasa 12,688 na lang. And of course, yung through their circular 494, yung binabaan din nila yung 6 to 10 million na housing loan, no? Kasi tinagdag na nila para mas makapag-cover sila ng mas maraming beneficiaries also in the open market. Tinaasan nila yung house loan ceiling to 6 to 10 million. And ito, binibigyan din nila ng promo rate na 5.75 for the first 3 years. Para mas maging affordable sa ating mga ibang kababayan. So, pag-ibig funds na parang helps ensure that the housing remains affordable to the Filipinos. So, the financing frame structure to balance affordability with financial sustainability while encouraging broader participation from the public and private sectors. So, ito na po yung mention kanina, no, yung average income decile. So, ito pong income decile ay determined through the Philippine PSA, the Philippine Statistics Authority. Every few years, 2 or 3 years, they conduct yung FIES, Family Income and Expenditures Survey. No? It's a nationwide household survey conducted by PSA. It's the primary source of data on families, Filipino families' income, living expenses, consumption, and patterns. No? Itong data ito provides benchmark information provided by the PSA to estimate the country's poverty threshold level. So, kaya nila din-determine kung ano yung mga first to third income decile, etc. So, the survey measures income distribution and disparities, yung pagkakahiwalay o pagkakaiba ng mga income groups natin across the 17 regions and various socio-economic groups. No? So, ito po ay divided into 10 income deciles. Ang pinakamababa po is yung first decile. So, sa NCR po, ang part po ng coverage natin is around 21, monthly income is 21,671.67. Now, ang national average outside NCR most especially is around 11,940. Ang pinakamataas naman po is yung income decile, 74,000 sa national average. And then yung NCR average na po, mas mataas siyang 98,045.83. So, ano pong importansya ng table nito? No? So, ang sinasabi ko rito, para makapag-avail ng 4PH project, yung 8 to 10 income decile and 10 income decile can avail of 4PH unit but with the regular interest rate and no interest subsidy provided. So, meaning, itong mga empleyado po dito is medyo nakaka-afford naman po kasi based sa salary that they earn and the expenditure of the company. Yung middle bracket naman po from 4 to 7 decile may avail of a 4PH unit with 3% interest rate. No? So yung, for example, kung 6% ang interest rate, bababa siya to 3%. No? Plus, provided with a 2% interest rate subsidy of the department. So part ito ng programa ng DSUD na kung between the 4 to 7 income decile, meron pa silang plus additional 2% subsidy. So yung pinakamababa naman po, yung first to third income decile, may avail of 4PH unit with 3% interest rate and provided yung katulad nito sa 4 to 7 income decile na 2% interest subsidy plus additional subsidies. Ito po yung na-mention ko earlier, yung mga estate management fee, MRI, and other insurance. No? Overall po, syempre, para maka-avail tayo ng mga benefits, yung bibili po must be a first-time home buyer. So ito po talaga basically to address yung housing problem natin, yung mga wala pa mga bahay na tinutuluyan. So para makatulong tayo na mawawasan yung mga deficiency ng ating housing sector. So in terms of laws, what is the role of NGOs and LGUs in help propagating yung ating socialized 4PH, Spanish 4PH program. So NCAs and local government units can help alleviating the implementation challenges of the Spanish 4PH program. So alam naman natin po may mga challenges din, which includes yung regulatory and permitting timelines. That's why also yung group namin is also in partnership with the other national government agencies, yung Express Lane, no? Para mas matulungan natin yung mga housing projects, no? Due to the lengthy to necessary safeguards. So these challenges are not unique to the program, but are part of the broader effort to ensure quality, sustainability, and accountability in the housing delivery. And highlight, of course, the importance of balik tayo sa updated na CNUP and sa requisite for certifications issued by the different national government agencies such as DA, Department of Agriculture, Agri-Reform, and DA. So, magtulong-tulungan po tayo sana para mas mapabilis natin yung mga permits, yung processing, para in terms of production ng mga private developers and our other partners, no? Mas mapabilis din po yung production. Hindi na po naman ito sa NCR, basically sa whole program. So, ito po, I think yung mga permits approval na-discuss na more extensively yesterday ni Engineer Godfrey and Christian ng NCR. So, hindi ko na po isa-isahin, may up to 12 na po pala. So, who are the eligible beneficiaries of our expanded corporation? So, related to the previous slide, who can avail of the 4PH program? So, ito may mga kabuhayan natin, especially, of course, all Filipinos, binibigyan natin prioridad siyempre yung mga those coming from the urban poor, ISM for Westlanders, yung mga minimum wage earners, government employees, of course, mga kababayan ako, W's, drivers, operators, and again of the program, expanded 4PH program. So, in terms of eligibility requirements, na-mention ko rin earlier, syempre, to avail pag-ibig loan, dapat member po tayo ng pag-ibig. So, pag-ibig circular number 473 provides that to qualify for end user financing under the 4PH program. The applicant must be a first-time home buyer and satisfy the following requirements. So, as mentioned, 12 months, meron ka dapat hulog sa pag-ibig, then income eligibility, yun, yung gross monthly income decile. Yung FIS po kasi, as mentioned, every 3 years dapat. So hopefully this year, makapaglabas na si PSA para kung madagdagan yung income capacity natin, yung coverage, baka mas marami pa makaka-avail yung 4PH at saka yung pag-ibig interest programs natin. So, age requirements, syempre po, pag sa pag-ibig, syempre, not over 65 years old kasi usually tinitingnan dyan is kung employed ka, then may capacity to pay. Of course, legally capable acquiring and mortgaging real property. Ito yung credit investigation, employment, and background checks. So, ito importante. Syempre, dapat po, wala tayong standing loans or mga delinquent na other short-term loans sa pag-ibig. Or itong, syempre wala tayong bad record, hindi tayo dapat ng foreclose yung mga, kung nakapag-loan ka na rin before. So, subsidies are available only to the lowest income deciles. Ito po yung na-mention ko na rin earlier. So, global, yung real other properties acquired na meron si pag-ibig, hindi po part do sa other subsidies. So, in closing na lang po, bilisa ka na lang. So, expanded 4PH program has evolved from a single modality, delivery approach into a multimodal partnership-driven framework. Also, the financial structures have been strengthened. Ito po yung kakapresent lang natin slide. The more active role of the Pag-ibig Fund and other government corporations that NHA and SHAFC. So also, our implementation is progressing even while several projects remain in compliance and are permitting stage, reflecting the necessary regulatory and project readiness requirements now. Of course, ito hiningin natin tulong yung mga partner agencies din natin. Other ongoing reforms aim to address bottlenecks in approvals, financing, and project execution. And lastly po, the program presents expanded opportunities for our stakeholders' participation, which is very important, particularly for our LG partners, developers, and other financing institutions. So, in behalf of the 4PH team po, maraming salamat po for this opportunity to present the updates and other information regarding our 4PH project. Maraming salamat po and good morning pa. Actually po, yung especially for pag-ibig kasi understandable naman po na may mga required documents sila eh. Siyempre, pag yung mga beneficiary or yung mga applicants nila eh hindi makakabayad, yung company naman or yung fund naman po yung mga apektuhan. Siyempre, especially yung pag-ibig, ang mga membro po niya yung mga ordinary employees din eh. Tulad ninyo, tulad natin. No? Pag yung pag-ibig is sara naman, siyempre mas maraming mga apektuhan. Well, given that scenario po na siyempre may mga documentary requirements ang pag-ibig or yung private sector like yung mga bangko, iniisip po din natin kung ano yung mga pamamaraan upang matulungan nga, katulad mo nang nasabi, yung mga ISL, especially yung mga informal jobs, na hindi naman nakakapag-submit ng mga usually mga requirements sa mga formal offices. Sa kayo po, ginagawa natin ang pag-aaral, saka hopefully even in the next few months, makapag-come up din po tayo ng policy para lang ma-cover po natin yung ganitong requirement na informal sector ay natulungan natin in terms of availing yung mga other available financing options, para lang mas marami na tayong ma-cover the beneficiaries for the 4PH program. So once this is available po, ilalabas po rin natin yan, siyempre, sa website. Ilalabas po rin natin sa mga other partner developers, of course, sa LG. Once this is approved also by the department or kung kinakailangan na sa usually pag may mga ganito is in partnership or joint memorandum circular with the DepTel. Actually po, to answer that question, yung district po is always coordinating with the LGUs kung saan po nalulugar yung mga 4PH projects. Ideally nga po is, for example, here in Metro Manila, sa Quezon City LGU, meron tayong rental housing 4PH, rental housing sa UP. Of course, this is in consideration also with the requirements of the locality and yung availability nga ng land. So, siyempre, we recognize na hindi naman po pare-pare situation ng NGOs natin or mga localities whether within Metro Manila or out within the Philippines or certain urban areas. Ideally po talaga is yung relocation natin is within the city. Pero kung hindi naman natin mapagbibigyan or there are a few available lands or lots na hindi rin provide yung demand ng LGU, hinahanapan natin ngayon sa ngayon po, ang ideal po is whether if not in cities yung near city na relocation. Ito po is ginagawa natin ngayon with our partners also in public housing, pino-coordinate din natin yan. Para ideally na is maiwasan na yung mga redundant or para at least ma-maximize natin yung pag-utilize ng pondo ng gobyerno. Hello, good afternoon po ulit. Update ko na kasi may question din kanina regarding sa informal sectors. So, meron palang yung partner natin si Ma'am Carla from Pag-ibig, nandito pala siya. So, ang bilis ng action eh. Meron pala silang for requirements. Hindi ko lang alam kung nandito na sa updates eh. Anyway, available naman daw sa website, for informal workers, meron lang silang hinihinging certificate of engagement. makikita po yan sa website nila is para certification lang siya. Kunyari, kung balot vendor ka, cigarette vendor, shipping driver, isa-certify lang ng barangay kung saan kayo nakatira para kung anong earnings. Siguro, later on, ano ko lang, may format yung silang ipinrovide, di ba? This is to certify your name para from barangay A, kunyari, kung ano yung negosyo ninyo, at what address, and then if you are in what period to what period. So, to be signed by the local leader or for this instance, barangay captain. So, yun yung isasubmit ninyo sa pag-ibig as an informal worker. So, nasa website po yan. Then, ito pong slide na pinapakita, hindi wala po kasi sa kanina, iniisip ko baka makatulong na kung discuss so briefly. Ito po yung program ng HDMF or pag-ibig nyo. Kung siya ma-picture na lang din. So, ito po yung message ko kanina, no? Basta socialized housing project. So, may promo sila for the first 5 years, 3% per annum. No? So, pag lumaktaw tayo ng mas malaki ng konti, no, up to 4.9 million yung gusto natin ito, yung basta may capacity to pay. So, may promo sila for the first 3 years. Ang interest rate naman po is 4.5. No? So, kung sa regular na 6.5 per annum na interest rate, ang monthly amortization natin is to around 20,040. Which is promo, no, ang monthly amortization beneficiary or pag-ibig member, for as low as 12,668 na lang per month for the first 3 years. And then ito po yung latest na nilakihan na ng loanable amount ng pag-ibig, no? Yung 6 to 10 million, no? May promos rin sila, 5.75%, no? For over yung economic housing, 4.9 to 10 million. For the first 3 years also, so, kung ang previous monthly amortization nyo is around 40,000 to 80 with the pag-ibig promo of 5.75%, bababa siya, no? Up to from 40,000 maging 29,000 lang. If yung loan mo is around ganung range, 4.9 to 10 million. So, ulitin ko po yung kaninang question naman before yung lunch break sa informal workers. Makikita po ninyo sa website. Siguro after this, i-upload din namin para makita rin sa atin, no, ma-screenshot din natin yung requirement or yung sample ng certificate of engagement. Yun lang po ba? Thank you.